Hello, and welcome to Using Variables in Python. My name is Marcus Gardner. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, of course, is use our Notepad++. We're going to hit File and New. When we do that, we'll get this new one. I'm going to right-click right here, okay, or I can do File, Save As, either one. So I'm just going to do it right here, File, Save As. And I am going to save it in, let's see, this PC. There we go. And we saved it underneath D, Becoming a Programmer, Python code, and oh yes, we got to change this to P, Python. There we go, and let's name this variables. I did it again. I forgot to click above it. There we go. Now it's clicked. Okay, let's call it variables. Okay. So before we did things like print Marcus. Okay. Now, this will be bad if I had to print everybody's name like this. I have to know in advance everybody's name. Okay? So, they have variables. For example, name is Marcus. Now, we can do things like print name. And that will get us the exact same thing. So, let's click Save. Right-click here. Open in Command File. And type in Python space variables.py. And there it is. Prints my name twice. Okay. Now we can do the same thing as, using numbers. Let's say my age is 32. Ha! Don't I wish? Then we can print age. And it will print the age. Okay. And there we go. Okay, now printing the variables again, we'll put it carriage return at the end, line feed, if you will. So we'll worry about that later on how to get rid of that if you don't want to go to the next line. That will be in a later video. Now we can, let's say, age me just a little bit. Age plus 5. Still wishful thinking. And now our new age will be 37. Okay. Make sure you click this save button. Otherwise, you're going to get the same answer before. You say, what happened? Okay. That's happened to me many times. Forget to hit the save. Okay. So now, for those of you who are very good at algebra, like myself, you're going to think, hey, this is bad. Solve this, subtract age on both sides, I get 0 equals 5. Then you're going to say, this doesn't work. So you can't think of this as algebra. Think of it as an assignment statement. Okay? So this variable age is the old age plus 5. Okay? So we're just changing what age is going to be. All right? And same thing. If I wanted to, I could change my name to Bill. So now my name is Bill. No, I don't want to be a Bill. All right. But that's something you can do. Okay. But more practically is if you have stored, let's do first name equals Marcus and last name equals Gardner, I could do something like this. Full name equals first name plus a space plus last name. So, look what it's doing. It's taking the first name, which is Marcus, it's adding a space, and then it's adding last name. Remember, the plus concatenates with no spaces. So if I wanted a space, I have to add one. Okay? And now I can print full name. So let's save this, run it, and there's my full name, Marcus Gardner. Okay? All right. So also we can combine strings with numbers. Say print full name is, and then let's do string of age plus, there we go. So what am I saying here? I am saying Marcus Gardner is, now because I've got this comma, it's going to add a space. Is, and now I got another comma, so it's going to add a space, and then it's going to make the age 15. Now, why did I make the age string? Or not 15, I'm sorry, 37. Why did I make it a string? Because I want to put a period right after it. If I don't, and I put a comma, let's copy this, then I'm going to get a space before. Let's get rid of the string, because we don't need string now. We're going to get a space before our period. So let's try it. And look at there. See, we got our space right there. We don't want that. Okay? The thing is, when you use concatenation with strings, both parties have to be a string. See, this is a string, so this has to be a string. If you try to do that with age not being a string, then you're going to get an error. Go ahead and give it a try. See what happens. Okay? It doesn't hurt for you to practice, okay? You are not surgeons. Oh, let's see what we can do with this heart. What happens if I do this? No. You don't practice in the middle of surgery, okay? But that's one of the nice things about being a programmer. You can practice, okay? Now, later on, there could be a problem with you deleting files, but I will let you know before we get to that part, okay? So, until then, feel free to practice all you want, okay? You're not going to damage your computer. You're not going to destroy data, okay? I will warn you when we get to that part where you have to worry about practicing with delete statements. Okay? All right. So I do believe this is most of the information you need for variables. Now, later on, very soon in fact, we're going to learn about getting input from the user, and then later on, reading input from a file, and then much later on, reading input from a database. Okay? So that is what we're going to work on in later time frame. So for right now, I think this is all you need. Okay? So again, make sure you use appropriate variables. Don't say age equals Marcus. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, your fellow programmers won't like it. Also, some people like to do this. First name equals Marcus. This is fine too. Now, I know there's going to be some hardcore programmers and say, no, it shouldn't be that way. It should be this way up here. That's the standard. But in all honesty, it doesn't matter as long as, one, you use, correct variable names. Don't use first name and input person's social security number or person's age. And two, as long as you're consistent, if you have a file, always do it this way. Don't mix and match. Don't do it this way. Sometimes do it this way the other time. No, that is bad. Okay? So, if you're checking someone else's code or you're fixing someone else's code and you need to make modifications and they do it this way, then continue doing it this way, even if you prefer it this way. And vice versa. If they have it this way and you prefer it this way, well, continue doing it this way. Okay? Because you do not want to mix and match. Okay? All right. So sometimes it's appropriate to have just single words for your variable names, but many times you will need to use 2 or more words. Now, do not do this. First name of my first girlfriend when I was in school. Okay? This is not good. All right? So you need to use appropriate variable names that are pretty short, but convey the meaning of the variable name. Okay? So use your own discretion, but don't make it long. Okay? We're not trying to hold supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. All right. Okay. So that is all for variable names, and also for printing. Same thing you do. Anything you do with a string, you can put in here. Same thing with an integer or a number, you can put in here, just like that. Okay? All right. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.